Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday. That means it's time for your
Thursday Thought.
And we're back once more. Today, I actually want to talk about a trend that I've been watching in the market quite a bit as of late. As you know, right now, the market is very hot. Properties aren't staying on the market for months or weeks or even days now. I mean, it's literally sometimes hours, and we receive acceptable contracts on properties. But an interesting trend that we've been watching lately is where real estate agents are advertising their property by putting a sign in the yard of the property saying coming soon. It's not even on the market. It hasn't even been submitted to the MLS. It says coming soon. And so that's sort of a concerning trend. The Division of Real Estate is watching that as well. And so I just wanted to comment on that a little bit. It's not illegal to do that. But the concern is it in the best interest of the seller that the real estate agent is doing that? And I can understand in this type of scenario. Say the seller wants to get the property on the market. They want to have as much exposure as they possibly can on the market, so the agent puts a coming soon sign in their yard until the seller is actually ready to have people walking through the property. They want a week or so to get it ready or something like that. I can see that makes a lot of sense, as long as it's in the seller's best interest. Where the Real Estate Commission looks at it with sort of a scant look is when the real estate agent puts a sign in the yard simply to generate more potential interest so they make more money on that particular sale. The Real Estate Commission says that might not necessarily be in the seller's best interest. Now, if the seller agrees to that and they understand exactly what's happening, that's between the seller and their agent. So the Division of Real Estate is really concerned about how does it affect the seller. And I think bottom line, that's sort of a litmus test whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing. Does it benefit the seller or does it benefit the agent? So a lot of people say, is this a good thing? Is this legal? The answer is yes, but it needs to benefit the seller. Daniel, any final comments?
I actually have a question just thinking about it is, let's say that scenario that you painted was the case. Seller wanted a couple of weeks to get the home ready for showing. They put the coming soon line in there, but a buyer drives past the sign, gives the listing agent a call, and the listing agent says, oh, sure, I can show you the house tomorrow, communicates that with the seller. And they're actually doing showings, but it's not advertised for the rest of the agents in town to go do showings. I mean, how does that... It seems like there's two standards.
It is. It doesn't necessarily build goodwill for the between the listing broker and the other agents. Obviously not. But ultimately, it is the seller who directs. It is the seller who dictates what happens. Normally, the seller says, no, I don't want any showings for a bit. I'm not ready. Mm-hmm. But if the agent receives a buyer, then technically they have a fiduciary responsibility to contact their seller and say, would you like us to show it? The seller can say, yes, bring them on by.
Or no.
No. So
I'm not ready.
That's the seller's call.
Okay.
So anyway,
cool.
That's pretty much what we want to talk about. Great question, Daniel, by the way. You can see there's nuances in our business. Sort of crazy. But this is an interesting season. So call us if you have any questions. We're here to help. Take care.
See you guys.
See you.